Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. A few days ago, on the 18th of January, a big balance update dropped in the Maplestory Korea test server, and we're seeing those close to final, if not final changes being applied to the balance of all classes. In this 5-part mini-series, we're going to check out all the remastered Explorer classes one more time per job branch, all the warriors, magicians, archers, blah blah, to check out those changes. With today, the magicians. Quick refresher for all Explorer Magicians in case you didn't see any of the previous videos. All Explorer Magicians now have gotten an up jump and can float in the air for a few seconds after a set up jump. All classes now have 100% stance, and that of course also includes the Explorer Mages. Their Teleport Mastery now gives 40% stance, and Buff Mastery gives 60% stance, upping that to a total of a 100% stance. And there was a slight buff to the teleport skill itself. The vertical teleport range was increased by about 10%. Also good news for everyone starting a Magician after the Destiny update, which is released in about 6 months from now. The first job skill Energy Bolt, after 18 long excruciating years, can now finally pass through terrain. Maybe in 18 years from now, Nexon will also make Magic Armor useful, as that skill still gives you about 90 defense, so yeah. And the 5th job skill Unreliable Memory was changed so that Magicians can now select which skill they want to cast, similar to the Die Select the Skill 5th job Pirates get. Those really are some nice changes, and in the last balance update, some more buffs were handed out to the Magicians, with a lot of them actually going to the Bishop. But first, let's start off with the Ice Lightning Mages. As a quick cool refresher, Ice Lightning Mages lost their Glacial Chain skill and got a new skill that pushes monsters away instead. Those passive ice shards that fall down when Blizzard is on cooldown will now always activate once you learn that skill, and both their Lightning Summon and Ice Aura can be installed at locations to either attack or freeze enemies. Ice Lightning Mages didn't really get a ton of changes anymore, but the one they did get was rather good. Chain Lightning's attack range got increased. Again, that's like the second range increase in 2 weeks. And it now actually arcs upwards a bit as well when there are monsters. Hitting monsters just got a lot easier. It ain't as good as Luminous Reflection skill, but hey, I ain't complaining. The range of the Hyper skill Freezing Aura was improved as well if you place down the skill. The range of the Vortex was slightly buffed. Besides that, there actually weren't a lot of balance changes. There were some visual changes though. Thankfully, the artist decided to get rid of that weird purple stuff that appeared when you used Blizzard. The skill now looks a lot better and more consistent in my opinion. And your summon got a bit flashier as well, still looking pretty epic there. I like the looks of the new summons actually. But besides that, not much else changed for the Ice Lightning Mages. So let's check out the Fire Poison Mage. Again, quick refresher, this class got an insanely new grinding skill in 3rd job. The skill leaves poison on the ground that deals damage and that can be ignited by any fire-based attack. The resulting explosion will then chain into more explosions until all the poison on the ground has been exploded. This made grinding insane on some flatter maps at the earlier levels, like it was really good, really lazy. Paralyze also got a bit more range, and I think visually this class got some big buffs. I really like the look of all the remastered skills. There was a lot of fear that the Fire Poison Mage poison spread skill was going to get nerfed, but good news, not only did it not get nerfed, the spread for the poison was increased as well. If we use the Ludi, you can now really see just how far it goes. Besides that, there were actually no changes for this class besides some skill description changes. So it looks like we are getting this skill similar to what it is right now in the test server in live. So that's going to be a great grinding buff for the Fire Poison Mage. And finally we have arrived at the Bishop. Bishops, besides some animation changes, might not look that different compared to before the remaster, but once they learn their new hyper skill at level 140, they change into killing machines, spreading holy blood and destroying monsters. Once the new hyper skill is active, some of your skills like Heal and Holy Fountain or Dispel turn into grinding skills that can help deal damage and leave debuffs on monsters. This change is amazing because bishops now have a way easier time bossing and grinding, turning their supportive skills that they don't need when they're actually solo into offensive skills. Most balance changes the bishop received after the update on the 18th of January were targeted towards those new grinding skills. Angelic Touch, which is the offensive form of heal, has gotten a slight nerf and now hits less lines and does less damage, but the debuff duration that the skill leaves has been doubled from 30 seconds to 60 seconds. Fountain of Angels, the offensive skill for your Healing Fountain skill, has had its damage increased from 120% to 160%, and both the duration and cooldown of the skill was increased. The skill will now last 60 seconds, and it has a 30-second cooldown. The skill is a place down skill that damages nearby enemies. Next up is the offensive form of Dispel that summons those feathers that fly around and damage enemies. The duration of this skill was doubled to 2 minutes, the damage of the feathers was slightly decreased from 220% to 200%, but the amount of hits was increased from 3 to 4, so overall that's still a win, I'd say. Or not, because the amount of feathers created was decreased from 5 to 4. So you deal more damage, but you hit less monsters. But then again, the range of the skill was increased, so yeah, there's like a ton of balance changes overall. Not sure if this is a win or not, you hit less monsters, but you'll deal more damage. Angel Ray got the same treatment as Magic Bolt, and now finally is no longer blocked by walls and it can just pass straight through terrain. The skill now prioritizes monsters with the highest HP, and the duration of the debuff the skill leaves when it hits a monster was increased from 15 seconds to 20 seconds. The attacking range for Big Bang was increased. I'm not sure by how much though, because Nexon of course doesn't ever state any percentages, god forbid. And visually the skill was slightly changed as well. The same thing happened to Genesis, who saw a small effect change. Bishops also got a new skill in 4 job called Holy Water that can be used by building up stacks gained by Angel Ray. The skill heals your party members, but when you're in attacking mode, the skill is changed to Holy Blood. And when Holy Blood is active, HP recovery from skills is reduced by 99%. You take 20% more damage, but you'll get 15% more damage. The skill lasts for only 10 seconds, but for every 5000 int you have, the skill cooldown is decreased by 10 seconds up to 120 seconds in total. The full cooldown of this skill is 300 seconds. Now the 15% damage increase wasn't really worth it for the limitations the skill gave, so the buff effect, the 15% damage, was changed. Now your final damage is increased by 1%, and this goes up by 1% for every 5000 int the bishop has, so the higher your int, the stronger the skill gets. And finally, for bishops, the Divine Punishment 5th job skill was buffed. The number of hits on this skill was doubled from 5 to 10, dang, talk about a damage increase. Both Fire Poison and Ice Lightning Mages got some good quality of life changes and buffs. It looks to me that bishops got a blunt of changes and improvements, greatly improving their grinding and damage to boss monsters. What do you think about the remastered magicians? Let me know in the comments. The teaser up next, and that video will be out tomorrow. And that was all for today. Many thanks to our members for making this video possible. Thanks to Niels de Coninck, Raar maar waar, Sebastian, Hanoy, FLX, Ryalias, Terry Kim, Vareese, Cody Mora, Wiley, Francisco Sousa, Historycanon, BackSpaceOTI, Saffronyx, Lorenzo, BG Extremes, Anwar NHI, Frank Bouquet, Ziggy Deer, Flidiot, Beamer WT, Knifesu, Chen125, Cloudfix, Gusus Rodriguez, Froggy11, Sir Tito 655, Glason, Brendon Cam, Vira, Trevor, Michael Machaka, Ratius, Lucky Beats, Justin Vale, Silvio Nato, Stevie Zhang, Afterlord_MS, Heopan, ceemak, Striker Elk, NockMSS, Niu, Taidoan Pan, Victor Sunstrom, Radicals the Alien, Stanislaus Cosimo Begas, Riser Are Eddie Reacts to Things, Dular, Gummy Bullet, Mr. Anarch, Lovebird, Rev Soli, Yuruski TV, Yo Mama, Mathias Simonsson, Caveman, oh yeah, Galando Belavia, I'm disappointed, my name is Coppersan and I'm super cute XOXO, Clap for the Moment, PC Game Life, Max Bernhardt and Cakeshot. Thank you all so much for watching, stay safe and happy mapling.